you want to know my opinion on what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, a big trigger warning. Okay, so there's this woman on TikTok going viral for throwing racial slurs at a 5-year-old. Like, yo, when I say I'm triggered because I do have a 5-year-old. And on top of this, the young black boy, he's autistic, and I do have an autistic child. So when I first seen this story, I was just like, what the actual fuck? It wasn't on my cards to do this video today. I was actually meant to be doing a review on the Met Gala. So I've pushed that for tomorrow if nothing else comes up. But yeah, I thought I'll share this news. And again, I'm spreading awareness, and prepare yourself because it's a big trigger warning. I'm going to roll the initial clip of the man. So it was another man that was recording the woman. Because you know when you're in the park and you see kids misbehaving or doing, like, you have to watch, you know what I mean? And a big question, where was the kid of the autistic child? Where was his parents? Because through the like people, like the clapbacks and thingies that I've seen, no one mentioned the kid's parents. Like, why is a 5-year-old in the park by themselves? And then on top of that, the 5-year-old's autistic. So that's, you know what I mean? That's a big question for me. But yeah, shout out to the man that checked her and that was recording this, because if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for him, sorry, you know what I mean? This wouldn't have seen the day of light on social media. And you know, with one thing, once you've been recorded, like that's it. It's on the internet forever. So the man checked her, and she was like, "I'll do what I want." And you know, he was like, "Why are you calling him the N-word?" And she was just like, he is," and she was just swearing at him and things like that. But yeah, I'm gonna roll the clip, and I will be back with my commentary.
Did you call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say right now again. Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging to you.
A little kid just did, you
That little kid, you call him a... The little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be the that.
I don't give a
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
Big shout out to him. Did you see how she was going on in that clip? And you know, big shout out to him. He had a bit of an accent, so you know what I mean. But yeah, and she's just like unbothered. She's swearing, and she's like, I'm calling him that because he is." So now she's backpedaling, and she's gone and set up. It isn't a GoFundMe for once. It's a gift and go. Never heard of it, but it's like a special, like, where you can donate money. It's to do with Christians. So can you believe this woman has been able to raise $500,000? So you know the black people are tripping. Like, wait. So all you have to do these days is be racist to a little kid, a little black kid to be exact. Then you can get paid $500,000. Like, what? So people's reactions are obviously funny, very concerning. So yeah, let's get into some people's reactions, and I will be back with the rest of my commentary.
This woman is Shiloh Hendricks, and if you haven't heard, she used a Christian crowdfunding website to raise almost $400,000 to protect her family after she was videotaped calling a 5-year-old the N-word on the playground. Now, she claims that the kid tried to steal her diaper bag, and then she went off, and the man who was recording her calls her out, and she just repeatedly calls him the N-word over and over and over again. How the fuck have we gotten here? How have we gotten here? I don't care if the kid did pick up her diaper bag. You're going to call him a racial slur and then repeat it over and over again to the man who's recording you do it? I contacted this website. It's a Christian crowdfunding GoFundMe, essentially. And they replied back to me and said that they were going to research it, because I said, is this what you stand for? as a Christian organization, is this what you stand for? Letting someone use your platform after they are displaying a blatant fucking display of racism. Is this what you guys are okay with? You're cool with that? She left out the part that she called the kid a racial slur in her little blurb about why she needs to keep her family safe. I would encourage you, if you are as outraged as I am, to share this video to your story and go to this website and send them a message saying the same thing that I did. Is this what you are okay with? This is what you want people to use your website for? Because I can tell you this, if that's what they're okay with, that is absolutely not fucking Christian. And I am tired of people being racists and awful fucking people and doing it in the name of God. This is absurd. This is unfucking acceptable.
Listen, big up to that man, because the way he was livid, he's so pissed off. And I love how he's calling this website accountable. Like, you call yourself, devoted Christians. Is this what you stand for? You know what I mean? You stand for the bullying and the racism of little kids. You know what I mean? Just because if it was an adult, that doesn't make it right. But the fact that he's a child and you know what I mean? He has a disability and he's autistic. Like, you lot dumb. So I really love how he's holding them accountable, and people are flagging it and people are emailing them and messaging them. So keep on doing that, people. I love that. But I agree with everything that he said. Like, he was just like, so this is today's society, yeah, that you can be full-blown racist and get paid $500,000. Like, you can't make this up. You know what I mean? That's just like me coming on YouTube and I'm just spewing pure hate and racism, and then I expect to, you know what I mean, accumulate loads of money. Like, that's insane.
I don't know if y'all seen that lady, that white lady in Minnesota that's going viral for her GoFundMe. It's at 250K. Now, the GoFundMe was started because she got doxxed. Why did she get doxxed, you asked? She was at the park and she said a child tried to go into her baby's diaper bag. She called the child the N-word. It was a black child. Now, as I'm reading and watching people's videos, the child has autism. Now, somebody is recording her constantly saying the N-word on camera. Now, I get it, freedom of speech, not freedom of consequences. And people are donating to it to help her move because she's scared for her life. She wouldn't be scared for her life if she watched her mouth. 250K because she called a child the N-word, and now she's in fear for her life because she was on camera saying it. But y'all are worried about where other people are putting their money. And before you start with it's just words, imagine this woman works where she works. I don't know where she works, but imagine she works with people of color, and that's how she feels about them. 250K because she's scared for her life for the words that came out of her mouth. Y'all, I can't make this shit up half the time.
The fact that Give, Send, Go is allowing people to be racist on their profile and raise almost $200,000 for a woman who called a 5-year-old autistic little boy the N-word is insane to me. As you can see, she raised around $300,000 in a total of one day after calling a 5-year-old child the N-word and accusing him of going into her purse and taking one of her son's squeezable fruit snacks. These are a little bit of the remarks made on the donations. There was a $1,776 donation from an anonymous giver saying, "Thank you for noticing the content of his character." There was another one for $1,500 that says, "If people don't stand up for each other, no one will stand up for us. They gave $500,000 to Austin Metcalf's killer. Let's protect a woman who stood up to Somalian Stretch out your hand from y'all." And then this one right here, $650 from Elijah Schaefer saying, "Sending my personal support. We are all fatigued and know that rather than changing their behavior, minorities insist on trying to police our words. I expect nothing less than animal behavior for the..." And like I said, Give, Send, Go, you need to monitor who is able to use your platform.
She had some big donations, with things like that, like GoFundMe's and that Gift and Go. it's usually accumulates, you know what I mean, by each person. But she got some hefty, like people just dropping, you know what I mean, 1,000 plus. And it's the messages that comes with it. You know, I'm in full support of you. We've got to stand up for the white race. They're taking over. And this is like, what are you actually talking about? It's like they just live in a cuckoo world. Like, ain't nobody coming for your race. Like, what? So the story keeps changing. One minute, the boy went into a diaper bag, broke one of her kids' toys, or he took some food out. It's just all these little things. But the way she's going on, and she says she's in fear for her life, you think the autistic child was trying to, you know, like unalive her, or, you know what I mean? I can't even say the word. You know what I mean? The thing with kids on the spectrum, they do stuff that, you know what I mean? It's like with my son, he'll do stuff like sometimes he'll smell random people or just poke them. And I have to run up to the person and apologize and be like, sorry, he's autistic. You know what I mean? And they're like, they laugh it off and they're like, yeah, I understand. But for her to attack that young boy and just call him all those racial slurs, it's so bad. But yeah, again, shout out for the man that initially recorded, because again, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even know about this. And where the parents, because there's one thing being racist or doing stuff to my child, but when you've got to come and check for me or the mother bear or the father bear, it's a whole different story. Like if that boy's father was in the park with him, then it would have been a black man versus a white woman. Would she have kept that same energy? You know what I mean? So I feel like maybe the child was there by himself, which is weird. So that's why she knew she could throw all these racial slurs and no one ain't gonna do nothing. But this man started recording and checked her. She called him numerous of times, and just as he started recording, that's when she kind of like, you know, shimmered down. But she was, as you've seen in the clip, she was still, you know, throwing up signs and, you know, what you gonna do? I said what I said, and now she's running to this website saying, "Oh, me and my kids, we're in fear of our lives," you know. Don't know if she's lost a job, if she does have a job, but you get what I mean. It's that same song and dance. People think they can spew hate, put out racism, and nothing's gonna happen to them in 2025. And again, the thing with the internet, once it's out there forever. But I like that girl's response, and I'm glad that she's shown some of the messages that people have left. But yeah, that's crazy. Obviously, they mentioned that Carmelo. I did a video on it. Do check it out. You know, because obviously he had a lot of donations. I can't remember what website because his wasn't GoFundMe. His was a different. Obviously, with that, it was looking like self defense, but we still don't know. You know what I mean? They're still investigating. But I'm not surprised that person wrote that. You know what I mean? Soon as we get a little win, I guess, they're always throwing it in our face. But what about, you know, Tamir Rice, or the other people that suddenly been killed, like, you know what I mean, unalive? Like, what happened to all of those? You know what I mean? But soon as we get one, we're trying to take over the white race. We're trying to do that. And it's just like, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? Like, what?
Have you guys heard about this woman that called a 5-year-old black autistic child the N-word several times at a playground, and it was all caught on camera? I'm sure most of you guys hopefully have seen the video, but this was the woman here. I would play the video, but I just literally can't physically watch it one more time. If you guys go find the original video, this woman pretty blatantly calls this child the N-word several times. And keep in mind, he is a 5-year-old autistic child. It's all captured on video, and you'd think, okay, she's probably going to lose her job. There's something bad's going to happen to her. Not only did that probably not happen, and in this GoFundMe, she takes full accountability for the fact that she's the one in that video, and she did in fact call a 5-year-old autistic child the N-word, but she was just defending herself, and she's just calling him what he is. And the amount of support that this woman is getting is actually unreal. Like I said, she has raised over $300,000. And what is so infuriating about things like this is I encounter so many people that will swear to you that like racism is not a thing anymore. And I think so many people forget that like things like racism, most of the time, they're not as black and white and cut and dry as you might want to think. It's very rare you're going to meet somebody where you go, hey, do you dislike black people? And they're going to say, yep, I hate them. Most of the time, racism is very hidden, okay? They do it in very selective ways where you can kind of find out how they actually feel based on the decisions or the things that they say. A perfect example is I had a scenario a few weeks ago where one of my friends was moving into a new neighborhood, and they have like a neighborhood watch over there. And as she's moving her stuff in, guess what? She gets approached several times and makes a big deal over the fact that she looked a little bit suspicious. And guess what? This woman didn't look like the type of people who typically live in this neighborhood. The person who actually called these people was confronted on it. Of course, guess what they said? No, I don't have a problem with people who are Latino or black. I don't have an issue with these people. I just didn't recognize you. But the reality is, guess what? Her husband, who was also clearly brand new to the neighborhood, was there for over a week with absolutely no issues, doing things on the front lawn, and nothing was ever told or called. And now she came there a week later, and guess what? She had somebody called on her, and they would not leave her alone. They kept asking things like, where are you really from? Are you even from here? Things like that. Now, these people would swear to you, no, I don't have a problem with people who are black or Latino or this, just certain ones that act like this. People who are racist, most of the time, it is very rare that they actually understand that they are racist. This woman who has somehow managed to raise over $300,000 for being the worst human being that I can possibly ever imagine. The reason why I think she's able to raise $300,000 is this is a way of people who are hiddenly racist to go and support what they actually believe. It is somebody who said the thing that they wanted to say the whole time. And she is the savior to them. She is the one who finally said it and didn't care. It's actually insane to me when I meet people who think things like discrimination, racism, you name it, don't exist anymore, when literally only 100, 200 years ago, we had separate bathrooms. You have scenarios like this, which couldn't have been more obvious that this woman is a horrendous human being, where she's able to get over $300,000 worth of support. If that right there doesn't show a very obvious and clear distinction of how a lot of people feel about people who do not look like them or act like them or not from the same areas as them, then I don't know what does. Because I really hope the website that she's using to raise all this money does the right thing and does not give her the money. But from what I'm hearing, it seems like she's actually going to get this kind of money for doing the worst thing I've ever heard of. Because complex issues like racism or just overall discrimination, they are not going to be obvious. Most of the time, it is going to be things that are hidden, microaggressions. A lot of people deep down want to be saying things like this, but they're afraid of the repercussions. And she just happened to be the one to say what they wanted to say out loud. But that's just my opinion. But hey, what do you think?
I liked his response. He made some really good points. I agree with him. Like, when it comes to racism, like even like I know this happened in America, but even here in the UK, obviously there's certain areas you don't really go to here in the UK, and I guess it's the same in America. But I prefer it like if you're, you know what I mean, if you're racist or you don't like a certain color, just own it. I prefer you that way than to smile on my face and then out of nowhere you start lashing out. 'Cause it's like he said, "Oh, so this is what you've always thought of me, but today's the day." You know what I mean? You're deciding to tell your truth. But what he said about his friends moving to a new neighborhood, and then you've got the neighborhood watch people coming over, like, I've never seen you before, and are you new? Like, for me, when you buy your house, yeah, you move to a next neighborhood, who are you to question me where I'm from and what you doing around here? Unless you built my house, or unless you're paying my mortgage or my rent, I don't need to answer nothing to you. Well, I do think it's important when you do move to areas, you should tap tap on your neighbour's door, introduce yourself, and say, "Hi, I'm such and such. I'm from here. I'm your new neighbour." So I do think you should check in because you need to know who your neighbours are, and maybe if they did that beforehand, they would know that some of their neighbours are racist. Even me, I'm looking to move. I should hopefully be moving next year. I'm on the waiting list. But whatever area I pick, I'm going to knock on my neighbours because I need to know. You know what I mean? Before I sign on that dotted line, I need to know. With my cousin, she moved probably about 2 years ago now. And it's not until maybe 3 months after she moved in, she found out that her neighbours were racist. And because there's such a high demand of housing in Manchester, she can't move again. Like, she just has to deal with it. She's rang the housing. She's like, it's a civil matter. Obviously, if things escalate or get really bad, then you have to obviously ring the police, etc. But she's got two kids. She feels for the safety of her kids. You know what I mean? That the kids on the street and in the area, they do little, nasty things. So her kids don't really go out. But again, when my cousin moved, if she would have knocked on her neighbours, she would have known what kind of people she was dealing with. So it's very sad. And listen, racism is alive and kicking and breathing. I just feel like with all the stress of, cost of living and everything that's going on in the world, you got the tariffs going, there's just so much going on, all the different wars and stuff. People are literally just, they don't give a F in it. They're just showing their true colours. People are going off. It's just when they be racist or they do horrible stuff, but then when they lose their job, they're in their feelings. And it's just like, you can't spew hate and then think everything's going to be good. But in this woman's case, it is like she literally spewed hate to a child and she's made 500,000. She can't get that money. Like, no, we need to report that website. We need to report this story, this woman. She cannot get that money.
Here I am going to work every day, clocking in and out, and yet she raised nearly $600K for calling a little boy a nigga in the park. I'm going to set myself on fire.
When you deep it, it's facts. You've got me getting up, getting ready to go to work, doing 40 hours plus. Can't even make, I don't know, even like 500. But you've got this woman who spewed hate and she's been recorded and she's made 500,000. Like, where did they do this at? Like, this is insane. Like, what? And even me, you know what I mean? Now I can finally make money on YouTube. I'm just deep in it, getting up, looking for content, doing research, editing, thumbnails, you know, being creative, editing, obviously. And then, you know what I mean? I can't even make 500,000 yet, but this woman's gone top art, speed hate, bullied a child, and she can make 500,000. Like, where did they do this at? I'm so confused and I'm fuming. Like, you know, jokes aside, when you deep it, no, it's so wrong.
So yes, I too am going to make a video, although I realize that the Shiloh Hendricks story has gained a lot of traction, which is very good. However, it has also garnered a lot of sympathy, which is sick. So I'll get into that. So even though if you've heard this story, I'm still going to make a video because the more negative attention it gets, the better. Because people need to understand, like Shiloh Hendricks, that you can't just go around saying obscene, nasty, racist things, okay? So that's number one. Number two, somewhere in her GoFundMe page, she said she was exercising her freedom of speech. Well, let me remind you, which guess who seems to forget the most? The patriots, the white fucking racist MAGAs who say, you know, I have the right to my First Amendment. Guess what? You all need to sit down and read the fucking Constitution. Because guess what? The First Amendment, it doesn't protect all speech, okay? So let's just break this down for you one more time. It does not protect speech that is obscene. Yeah, what you did, so no, it's not protected. Defamatory, incites violence, which if I was the parent of that child, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how I would have reacted, and if it is a true threat. So that's the one I don't think you did. But as far as the obscenity, defamatory, possibly incite violence, yeah, your disgusting racist speech to a 5-year-old, not protected. So, in case you have not seen this, it is wildly disgusting. You have a white asshole woman going to the park, Shiloh Hendricks. This happened in Rochester, Minnesota, or somewhere around Minnesota. She's from Rochester. So, apparently, a child, a 5-year-old, not a 15-year-old, a 5-year-old who happens to be black, stole something out of her diaper bag. 5 years old. What do you think they do? They're curious, they look into things. My 1-year-old tries to take everything he shouldn't. If that was me, I would have said, hey honey, what are you looking for? A snack? Or I would have looked over at the parent and said, you know, like given a smile. Instead, she berates him to the extent that embarrasses me to be a white person and just a human being by calling a 5-year-old the N-word. And then I think when his parent was recording, does it again. Doesn't care. She's so openly hateful. So the one thing I've been loving about social media is holding people accountable. I think it is past fucking time we've done this. I don't care if it's the tiniest slur, okay? I'm sick and tired of hate. I am sick and tired of people thinking they are better than others. And yeah, from what I see, it's a lot of fucking white people. So she gets threats, probably all over TikTok, social media. I think she's closed down her Facebook page, and then has the fucking nerve to go to a GoFundMe, give, send, go, help me protect my family, and has since raised $500,000 of her request for $1 million. And now she has other racist, like blatantly racist by their usernames, supporters. I don't know if they're friends, just probably other white racists, like Mary Wren. Okay, stand up for Shiloh, asking for $50,000. In her write-up, she said, I have dealt with consistent harassment and had incidents with those people my whole life. Jesus fucking Christ. Can white racist people, white MAGAs, just fucking disappear? So you, as a white person, Mary Wren, you think you've dealt with constant harassment? Do you ever put yourself in the mindset, read a book, talk to a black person, have a conversation, ask them, what has your life been like? What has your parents' life been like? Grandparents. So it's people like you, like I said, it just makes me feel mortified to be a white person. Although I know in my heart that if anybody met me, I think you would feel my warmth. Anyway, so someone counter GoFunded me, but it doesn't look like it's garnering a lot of attention. So yes, there is a GoFundMe that is, I guess, trying to raise money for the parent of the 5-year-old. It doesn't look like it's getting much. So I don't care who I have to tag in this video, but I'm gonna tag like Taylor Swift. I am so disgusted by what people think their rights are, and the fact that they want to be that way. They want to be cruel, and they want to be hateful. And I just could never live my life that way. And I hope this woman loses her job. I reported that GoFundMe page. It's easy. Just go to, hang on, I'll tell you in a minute. So it's sponsored by Give, Send, Go. And it's called Help Me Protect My Family. But you could just search Shiloh Hendricks and you'll see hers. That's already $500,000. The one by Mary Wren. And then there's another one. I guess the CEO, Jacob something, is aware. Jacob Wells, the founder, is aware of like what's going on. But the more people that report this, like, she does not deserve those funds. The family does. And they should sue. And so please, let's support that family. I might make another video, but here's the first part. I'm going to put all the information down. Please report that page.
Shout out to that woman. Everything she was saying was straight facts. First of all, for the people who's like, I have the right of free speech, blah, blah, blah. Go and read your amendment. You know what I mean? Go and read it. Go back and read it. It's like, yeah, you can say what you like, whatever you want to say, but there's always consequences. Same with actions. For every action, there's a reaction. She did this, and this is what's happening now. You know what I mean? So prepare for the consequences, because as much as it's free speech, it's hate speech also. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, I agree with what she said. You know what I loved with this, you know what I mean, this video and people and their reactions, a lot of white people are holding her accountable, which I love. So shout out to y'all calling a spade a spade. But yeah, again, hopefully she doesn't get this money. I still can't believe it, $500,000. Like, we're used to, like, you know, these GoFundMe's and people, you know, reaching high numbers, but it's how quick she got to that high number. Because a lot of people, when they were recording their video, she was on like 200K, and then it went to 250K. You know what I mean? Can't remember what I was gonna say, but yeah, just can't believe it. Like, the story is just crazy.
Everyone meet Shiloh Hendrick. Apart from looking like her two favorite extracurricular activities are using booger sugar and skipping wash day, she goes to
That's
parks
skipping
and
wash
hurls
day.
racial slurs at 5-year-old autistic children. And now, since this video of her has gone viral, she has started a give, send, go to raise herself, her children, and her husband because she needs to protect her family after she harassed a 5-year-old autistic child by calling him the N-word Hardy R. And she has raised over $500,000 on this give, send, go. There is no reason that someone should be able to be racist and then raise money to try to avoid the consequences of their own actions. So what I need everyone to do, go to this website. It is called Give, Send, Go. She does not have a GoFundMe. She has a Give, Send, Go. When you get to this website, you'll see these 3 lines in the corner. Click on them. Once you click on those 3 lines, this page will show up. There's a search bar. Type in her name, Shiloh Hendrick. You will be taken to her campaign. What you're gonna do is copy and paste the URL for her campaign. Then you're gonna scroll all the way to the bottom until you see where it says contact us. Another blue thing will show up right here. Click that contact us and then click this contact us. You'll come to this. Once you are here, you'll fill all of this out. Where it says campaign URL, that's where you'll post her campaign. And where it says select a reason, you're gonna select report a campaign. I need this shit gone faster than Jenny could ever run up and down the block. Cause Methany, if you're gonna be racist, do that shit with your whole fucking chest. Don't try to run when your actions have consequences. Hope this helps. Peace and love. Talk to you later.
See, this is what I love about black people. She introduced her and she read her for the filth. Looks like she skipped wash day. No lies were told. She is looking kind of dirty, you know what I mean? But yeah, she's shown y'all what to do. Get on it, please, and report this video. So, cause she can't get this. She can't get this money. Mm-mm. Report her page on the Gifts and Go. And if this really is a Christian website, you know what I mean? I don't know this for factual, but well, shame on you. And this is why I don't rate GoFundMe's and this all these kind of websites, because you don't do the checks, the background checks. Because I'm sure when they do find out the reason why this woman needs this money, they probably won't give it her. But it shouldn't take us to reach out and report it for you to stop it. You know what I mean? Like, you should already know. Obviously, she's gone on there and she's like, me and my family basically need sanctuary. We're in danger. But she's missing a big chunk of the story. Like, why are you in danger? Why are you on the run? Why can't you go to work no more? You know what I mean? The thing with the internet, yeah, they've got some amazing detectives. Like, they can find out where you live, your phone number, your workplace. Like, that's sort of where the kids go to school. They're so quick with it. And the saying goes, don't start none, won't be none. All she had to do is take her kids to the park. You know what I mean? Just a normal. It could have just been a normal day. I go to the park often, like literally like 3 times out the week, 4 on a good day. You know what I mean? The weather's good. My kids go on their scooters. Sometimes other kids try and jump on it. Sometimes I let other kids play with their stuff. Sometimes I don't. It just depends. Some kids are obviously rough, etc. And I know if they break it, I'm gonna be looking at their parents like, "You're gonna pay for this." So things do go down in the park. I get that. Again, especially when your kid's autistic, I get that. But for her to do that, and it's like my man said, it's like it's just always been there. Because how quick was it to come out your mouth to say the N word? Like, why is it even there? And with that girl, she made me laugh. She's like, she said the N word with the hard ER. Forget the A, forget the ER. The N word's the N word. I hate when people do it, try and downplay it. Like, oh no, I was saying it with the A. The N word's the N word, innit? I don't believe in using it, black or whatever color you are. I don't believe in it, but I do get why people do use it, like the black people. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Report her page. She can't get this money, these funds. Prayers to that little boy again, because he's autistic. He probably didn't even know what she was, you know what I mean, shouting at him. Like, kids don't know anyway, even kids that are like normal, I guess. But the fact that he's autistic, he's probably just, you know what I mean, just in his own world. Kids on the spectrum, they are, they're just, you know what I mean, happy go lucky, like they're just in their own world. But yeah, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.